Thank you for coming here at such short notice. We are here to discuss the current Abyssinia crisis. Foreign Secretary, what do you know about the current situation?
Well, Mussolini's invaded Abyssinia on the 5th of October, as you all know probably. And I think we should think where our priorities lie, i.e. the stress in the front against Germany and Singapore. And I think we should uphold the agreement of the League, as this was an unprovoked attack.
Okay, so therefore you think it is wise to keep in alliance with Italy and Mussolini, but also to put this into the League's hand?
Yes.
Okay. Minister of War, what do you think about this situation? Do you think it's worth going to war with Mussolini?
No, I agree with the Foreign Minister. We should try and settle this diplomatically before engaging into a war.
Why is this? Do you think, is it because we haven't got enough arms?
We are not ready for war. Rapid rearmament would cost severely on our economy.
I see. Chancellor of the Exchequer, do you agree with this?
Yes, I agree. Financially, we are in a weak position, and as a country, we're trying to maintain a good balance of our payments. If war was to happen, we would have to rearm. Factories making war products would use our raw material, our imports, which we depend on. We would not be making enough goods to export, and therefore this would cause an imbalance in our economy.
And what is the history of our financial position? Do we have enough money to go to war for the long term?
Our country was made vulnerable and economically weak due to the Great War. During the Great War, Britain was less able to supply her pre-war export markets, and due to this, countries produced their own supplies or goods, or they were bought elsewhere. Due to this, also our unemployment had gone up to a great amount. Not only this, we were also left with huge debts from the Great War. We had borrowed £1,285 million from the US, but we also lent £1,419 million to France and Russia. Due to the new communist government in Russia, Russia refused to pay back her debts.
I see. And Home Secretary, what do you think about the current situation?
Well, the public's view on us going to war is that we shouldn't go to war, because they know what happened during the Great War. They know that over 700,000 people, British people, were lost, and they don't want a repeat of that. They want money that would be spent on war to be spent on houses, on schools, hospitals, and things that would benefit them more, because at the moment, as Chancellor of the Exchequer would know, we are in the middle of an economic depression.
Can I just hold you there? Minister of War, you think obviously that more money has to go into rearmament, or am I wrong here?
I agree. We know from the Great War the destructive potential of air power. The only way to reduce destruction is to build a bomber fleet large enough to destroy the opposition. Therefore, the RNF would need more money from the Treasury if this is to happen.
Okay. So carry on, Home Secretary.
I really have to stress that these people do not want their money, or their money that they are paying in taxes, to be spent on war. Their money should be spent on what they want, and what they want is schools, hospitals, and homes.
Chancellor of the Exchequer, do you agree with this?
I do agree. I think it would be wiser to spend our money on necessities of our people. If we were to rearm, we would not risk surviving the war, we would not have enough money, and we would be bankrupt after a few months. So with this money...
I see. Minister of the Dominions, what do you think about the current situation? Do you think that the Dominions, Australia, New Zealand, Canada will be rushing to our aid?
Canada suggests that we do not go to war, but they said they would be anxious. Some would be anxious to help if we are in war. Australia and New Zealand will help, but Australia does not have much of an army. We have about 20,000 troops in Palestine, which we can take out to help us as well. South Africa won't help us because they remember the Boer War and they don't want a repeat of that. And India will not help because of the Armistice massacre in 1919.
I see. So we have a bit of a problem there. So, after all of these...
Before you go on, Prime Minister, I'd just like to interrupt in the interest of the party, I'd like to bring up the Fulham by-elections 2 years ago. And I'd just like to say that the Labour Party, who were opposed to rearmament into war, won a vast majority of the votes, and the Conservatives, who were for rearmament and war, did not, and in fact lost the by-election. So I think in the interest of the party, it's not a good idea that we go to war.
It seems that the general consensus of this meeting is that Britain does not want to go to war. We have heard from the Chancellor of Exchequer we cannot afford to go to war, which has also been backed by the Minister of War. The Home Secretary has shown the general consensus that people do not want to go to war in this country. Also, we have heard from the Secretary of Dominions that although the Dominions will be willing to come to our aid, it would be preferable not to. From the Foreign Secretary, we have also found that it would not be a wise move to go to war with Mussolini, as he is an ally, and we should be concentrating more on the Eastern Front and of the eastern areas around Japan, Singapore, and also Germany, stop Germany expansion. Okay, so thank you everyone. I think we have reached a reasonable agreement. Have a good time. See you in a few weeks. Thank you for coming here at such short notice, everybody. I do appreciate it. I apologise for my grotesque appearance. It seems I am ready to make a practical joke. Now, Foreign Secretary, what do you think of this?
Henry!
No more comb.
Okay.
Never mind.
And again.
I see. Okay, so we have heard everybody's opinion, and just before we carry on here, I would like to blow my nose because I have a runny nose. I have a tissue in here somewhere. Okay, here it is. I'll now blow my nose. Thank you very much for waiting, everybody. I also see that the Dominion, the Minister of Dominion has a runny nose as well. We'll now carry on, and we won't take a vote because that's the kind of thing that goes on in secondary schools in France. And, you know, we're not like that, are we? Anyway, excuse me for a minute.
Henry, can we... you're right.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah,
It's about to sneeze, and that's okay.
With Italy invaded, our position is a pretty pickle. We have sworn to oath to protect. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious problem.